I found out a long time ago that a lot of the descriptions online for these angel numbers tend to be very generic, meaning varies based off of who's seeing those numbers. You actually have to tap into your own intuition to find out exactly what these numbers mean for you. I started seeing these numbers around 10 years ago, and I was noticing that every time I looked at the clock, I would see 1111. That's what it started off with. And eventually it became so frequent that it was hard to ignore because I would see it every single day for months. I remember around that time I was going through another spiritual awakening where my psychic abilities were getting stronger. And then I had also went through some type of an awakening where I was starting to see the deeper meaning in life, to where I was attracting an abundance of all the things that would make my life pleasurable. There were also times where my eyes would actually land on the number 1111 while I was shopping at the grocery store. And so I decided to experiment with those numbers and actually buy scratch offs. And usually, whenever I would buy scratch offs around the time that I saw those numbers, I would win something. And at one point, I remember getting so enthusiastic about the situation that I purchased 5 scratch offs and I won 4 out of 5 scratch offs. Another thing that I want to tie into these angel numbers is that it doesn't always necessarily mean something great, you know? There's a misconception that whenever these numbers are seen, that it's some type of positive divine message from the universe, but sometimes it's just simply a God to give you a heads up on something that you need to look out for. And sometimes you'll notice that you'll see a number for a certain amount of time and then it disappears for a while, and then another number will come in, and then you learn the meaning behind that, and then that goes away, and then they circulate or come back based off of what you're going through at the moment. A way to find out exactly what these angel numbers mean for you is by examining what's going on in your life around the time that you see these numbers. And this includes things that are going on right before, during, or right after you see the numbers. It helps to have a log in your journal where you record the incidents that arise from these numbers. So you can have a part in your log where you have the date that you saw it, the angel number that you saw, and what happened around the time that you saw it. What did you feel around those times? What were you thinking around those times? What did you see around those times? Did your eyes land on some type of message that served as some type of confirmation? Were you experiencing another awakening? Did you experience a major life event around the time that you saw those numbers? Did you notice that your spiritual abilities were getting stronger around the times that you saw those numbers? Were you on the right path when you saw those numbers? Was there some type of emergency whenever you saw those numbers? Did you notice that your finances improved or was doing good around the time that you would see these numbers? The more you ask yourself these questions, the more you'll figure out what number means what for you. And there also may be periods where once those numbers serve their purpose, they disappear for a little bit. And then another number comes in with its own meaning or own set of meanings. And there might be times where you see multiple numbers in a day for various numbers. There also may be times where you find that the meanings of those numbers may change, but it's always important to remember that no matter what the meaning behind these numbers, you just have faith in knowing that everything will work out for your good in the end, and you will attract a better outcome for yourself. So as you can see, the meaning behind these numbers can be very complex, and oftentimes far too complex to define it by a definition on Google.